created the piece with the ballerina inside? Was that...
That was Theo. It was actually for his 70th birthday, and this was the first piece that he made with moving parts. It's called the encore egg. So if you're not applauding, of course, the curtain's shut. But if you start applauding, the curtain opens to reveal the stage, the ballet dancers. And if you turn the crown on the top, the swan goes round the stage. His favourite ballet was Swan Lake. And you can lift the lid off, and there are the ballet dancers taking their final bow. And under the floor, like in the Phantom of the Opera, a secret compartment for that last chocolate nobody else is to find.
Well, this is why I love that piece the most, because when I met Theo, it was on his 70th birthday. He had designed that piece, and we had invited him at the time. I was working with Edward Villela at Miami City Ballet, and he came to do a benefit for us, and that piece was displayed, and I remember it. And like you said, there's one piece that sticks out for everyone, and that was definitely one that touched me because of my work with the ballet at the time. So that was a wonderful piece. And storing the chocolate is perfect for me, because that's exactly who I am. So I may have to look at that piece. He was a very wonderful man.
He really was. People often said to me afterwards, gosh, he's just so nice, so ordinary. But that was Theo. Theo was always surprised when people say, oh, these are magnificent. Do you really think so? Yeah. If you praised him, he always kind of was a bit shocked, right to the end. And a lot of famous designers do change an awful lot, especially when they become really famous. And Theo did hundreds of TV interviews, and always afterwards was surprised that people actually wanted to hear his story even. And do they really want to see more of the eggs again, you know? And he was such a beautiful man and such a kind person.
Theo was a very philanthropic man, and he did many events for nonprofit organizations and would allow them to sell the eggs and give a lot of the profits to the organization. And having you come back into town for the Easter Seals event and bringing the St. Petersburg collection, some of the pieces with you, was just wonderful. You were very well received, and I wanted to ask you how you felt about being back in Palm Beach and really being able to showcase Theo's work and Sarah's after his passing.
First of all, after working with Theo and traveling around the world for 23 years, I really do miss him tremendously. But it was still an honor to be there, and my thrill is really when people come up afterwards and really ask questions and really try to understand, why did Theo design that? And, oh, now I understand that. I really like this piece better than that one, because I understand his thought process that went through these pieces. And every piece did have a tremendous amount of thought that went into it, and why would he design it this way? And that fascinated me too.
Yes. How did you meet Theo? I mean, I had the privilege of meeting him, but he was already, you know, producing beautiful work at the time when I met him. But how did you actually meet him?
Purely by chance. I was flying to South Africa, opened the In-Flight magazine, and there's a story about Theo. And somehow it just immediately hit me, this amazing story. And as soon as I got back to England, I rang him up, and he said, come and see me. So I did. And immediately I saw all these wonderful creations. And for me, it was like going into a toy shop for the first time. Oh, look at this one. Oh, no, there's something wrong with it. No, look at this one. No, the color's not quite right. There was something with everything, typical designer. And there was a piece that I absolutely desperately wanted to buy myself, which I did. And then I thought to myself, well, gosh, you know, other people would like to own pieces too. And it was just by purely chatting with Theo, and he said, I love designing them, I love making them. When it comes to business, I'm lost. And I said, well, why don't we do something together? And you might have expected him to jump at this, but he agonized for 18 months.
Because he truly was an artist. He truly was an artist.
And I only found out later it wasn't whether he should work with me, it was more whether he was worthy of the Faberge name. Isn't that amazing? That is amazing. And then look at what he produced.
It is amazing. And how long did you actually know him?
I worked with him for 23 years.
23 years, so that was a long time.
Yeah, so...
Well, now, if people want to purchase eggs, they're not in circulation where you can just go in a store and buy them?
No, we do have a website, and that is the way to contact us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're not something that's just available readily in the store, so they still have that wonderful cachet to them and privacy to them.
Absolutely, and they are very limited, the editions that we make, so it's not something where you can just want 6 of those or something.
Exactly.
It's something very special.
Well, I'm so glad that you brought some of the St. Petersburg collection with you today so that our viewers have the opportunity to see them since they're not available in the stores. And you're going to tell us a little bit about each little intricate part of the details of these beautiful eggs. So let's go and take a look.
Okay.
Well, I'm so glad you were able to bring some of the collection with you here today and tell us a little bit about some of the pieces that you brought.
This is just a few of the pieces. Of course, there are a lot more. This one here is called the Celebration Egg, and actually celebrated not only Theo's 80th birthday, but the Queen's Golden Jubilee. The enameling, this beautiful blue, is actually a glass guilloche enameling, which Carl Faberge was so famous for. We're still able to do it. We're one of the few companies still doing this technique. The imperial double-headed eagle, the Romanov crown, but of course there's going to be a surprise to it. And if we open up the egg, there, the beautiful coronation coach of the Queen. Interesting, Carl Faberge did one, but with the Tsar's coronation coach.
Very beautiful, and the colors are very, very regal.
They're really vibrant, and this enameling process is really what makes it so beautifully enameling. And here we have the poppy egg, and again, this is enamel. It's cherry red. Actually, red is the most difficult color of all the enameling colors. We have these poppy seeds set with tiny little diamonds, and the base here ornamentally turned by Theo Faberge. And the surprise inside is, in fact, a poppy plant, but it has a further surprise because that is in a little vase.
Beautiful, that's beautiful. And this is by Theo?
This is by Theo Faberge, yes. The big piece on the back here, this was actually for the 300th anniversary of St. Petersburg, and this piece takes nearly 6 months to make because it is actually, each one of these palaces is engraved by hand, as is the Tsar that is most appropriate to that particular palace, the triple-headed eagle on top, and the surprise for the 300th anniversary of St. Petersburg, Peter the Great on horseback. And all this is made of gold, silver, and crystal.
Very beautiful. And it's not etched, it's engraved. Very big difference.
It's totally hand engraved, and that's why it takes so long. Just think about this though. The engraver makes one little slip, he can't repair it, he has to smash it and start all over again.
So it's perfection.
That's what it has to be.
Beautiful. Well, we look forward to doing our Easter egg hunt with you with the St. Petersburg collection. We'll do a fundraiser for WXEL for public radio and television. So that you can count on that, and we'll do an egg hunt for our patrons.
That'd be
and
great.
we look forward to doing that with you. So we will see you again. And thank you, Philip, for coming and meeting with me. It's been too long. 10 years is way too long, so I need to get you back here sooner. So thank you again.
Thank you so much.
I'm Debra Tornaben. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I have, and I look forward to seeing you next time on South Florida Profile.